The DP World Tour is calling Yas Links home for the Abu Dhabi HSBC Championship, and this is the opening hole, a par 4, quite snackable if you can find the fairway, but the left side of it does drift down into a little depression, and there's some dodgy lies down over on that way as well. Undulating greens is a very big feature. This week, you want to make sure you find the correct section in order to give yourself a makeable birdie chance. So many slopes.
The second hole is a reachable par 5 into a right to left prevailing wind. The ideal drive is up the left side over a mound where you won't be able to see the ball land, taking those 2 bunkers up the right side out of play. If you can't reach the green due to the winds, laying up over to the right over those 2 bunkers on the right side, as you can see in your picture, and away from the one on the left, give yourself a better pitch shot to this multi-level green. These are big greens. This one is 46 yards deep, so it's very important to be in the right portion of the green to give yourself a good birdie opportunity. You'll see the odd eagle here at the second.
This is the third hole flanking the water, 442 yards, and the tricky bit about this with the drive is that you actually won't see the first bounce. In between those 2 bunkers down there is a big depression. And it all depends which way you get the kick as well, out to the right edge of the corner. And then you look back towards the green, which is really visually appealing. You can't see all of it though from over there. It's almost shifted into 3 different sections. And as is the theme with Yas Links, you want to find the correct one. There is an upper back plateau, that'll get a bit of a workout, but you won't be able to see too much of that pin when it is over on that left side.
The fourth hole is the first of the par 3s. Slightly elevated tee, just a mid-iron, especially to the front portion of the green, probably no more than a 7. The green is 49 yards deep, so there will be a lot of different club selections off this par 3. Chipping area down to the left, couple bunkers to the right.
The fifth, when you step up to this tee, it is so visually appealing. The hole straight the way down there, 405 yards. And there's a lot more fairway out to the left-hand side. As you can see, it just sits a little below the level of the rest of the hole. So out to the left, pick your line off the tee and then back towards this long but narrow green. It is 42 paces long and it really pinches in right between those 2 bunkers. So there's a little bit of a valley there halfway through.
The 6th hole is a moderate distance at only 468 yards, but it will play longer into the left to right prevailing wind and one of the smaller greens on the golf course. There's only 1 bunker up the left side of the fairway, so it shouldn't be much of an issue here. It's all about getting it in the fairway and setting up your second shot to this shallowish green, which is only 36 yards long. And on the left side of the green, most of the time will be blind to the players. They'll only be able to see the top half of the flagstick. Good birdie opportunity here if the wind's not blowing too hard.
This is the 7th, the par 5, a little under 600 yards. And as you can see, the fairway just sits slightly across you, which is a real factor here on a number of holes at Yas Links. This, most likely with the prevailing wind, will be downwind. And as you can see, also so many mounds and bumps on the fairway. And so you're hoping for a straight bounce, but you might not always get it. Now, the green is fun. As you can see, a little bit of an upper plateau. From around about 100 yards out, you can get a kick forward for the last 30. And if they pop that pin on the front, everything kind of runs from the front to the back. So you could end up with a pretty hefty eagle chance perhaps, but you really want to bank a birdie here at the 7th.
The 8th hole's another par 3, water up the right, a couple of bunkers to the right of the green. Everything slopes left to right with the wind helping from the left as well. That'll help you get the ball close to a right hole location. Par here is a very good score on a sloping green.
The 9th hole, final hole of the front 9, and it's flanked along the water, but also just look at that bunker, that really thin, narrow bunker all the way along the right, forcing the carry off the tee. The one on the left is about 300. And so somewhere between the 2 or just short of that left one is where you'll see most of the players go. Unless it is downwind, they might be able to chew off a little bit more off the tee. Down to the green, and it's another one that will release away from you into the back section. Obviously, there's only about 2 paces on the right before you find yourself in the water. So err on the left-hand side and get it on the dance floor.
The 10th is a short par 4, under 400 yards. Plays straight down the prevailing wind. If you get a strong wind, the long hitters are going to take on this green. Can they get it on the green? I'm not sure. They can definitely get it in those front bunkers, both left and right. The shorter hitters will be forced to lay up out to the left with a back left hole location, not a great angle. Certainly an undulating green. You want to be in the right portion, but this is a birdie hole. Make no mistake.
It is a real scoring 1-2 punch to start off the back nine. You can pick up one at 10, and if you play your cards right, you can make yourself a really easy birdie chance on the par 5 11th to come. It really pinches in. Around about those two bunkers down on the bottom left of screen, that's around 288 or so off the tee. Find the fairway and you are rewarded with a chance of maybe hitting the green in two, but that's if you get the correct bounce. Just next to this bunker here, there is a hefty kick to the right. So you're going to see a lot of shots down in that front right bunker. That's going to be a real collection spot for this green. And it is one of the flatter greens on the golf course by comparison. Find the right section, eagle putt.
12 is a par 4, 484 yards, but it's not going to play that long. It's a downwind from the right with the prevailing wind. That lone bunker up the left side should not be in play for most of the players with the helping wind. This will be nothing more than a drive and a 7-8 iron for the long hitters, maybe even a wedge with the wind behind. There is a ridge in the green, as you can see right there, a plateau kind of right center. That will be a focal point all week, trying to get the ball on the correct level. Some deep bunkers will penalize a poor shot.
The 13th first par 3 of the back nine. It's a short one, but as you take a look overhead of the green, obviously all those four bunkers flanking around the left side and the back, there are two ridges that really bisect this green into 4 different sections. As again, at Yas Links, find the right one and you're rewarded.
This is a very short hole, 359 yards, and the players are playing to a fairway that diagonals from left away to them from the right. The bunkers up the right are to be avoided at all costs. It's only a driver and a wedge, probably a layup and a wedge, but you have to be in the left side of the fairway to play away from those bunkers. If you hit it up the right side of the fairway, a much better angle, especially into that back left hole location. Green sits up in the air a little bit. Players won't have a good view of the green. Imperative to be in the right position on the green for birdie putt.
This is the 15th. It's when you make the turn and you start heading back towards the clubhouse at Yas Links. 486 yards. When it's into the wind, it actually makes your decision off the tee slightly more straightforward, and you don't have to thread the needle between these two bunkers. You can just aim short at the right one and set yourself up with hopefully a little bit of a higher look into this green, which is bisected into front and back sections. Around about 25 on, you can see the ridge there. There's a big drop off down to the right as well, and if you're down there, you might not be able to see the surface of the green.
16 has water all the way up the left side, as you can see. It also has a bunker in the middle of this very generous fairway. Which side of the bunker do you hit it on? Do you lay back? So many choices, which is what makes this hole a really good one. But the second shot should be straight back into that prevailing wind. Extremely deep green at 52 yards long, and the back section of that green has a very little plateau that will be extremely challenging.
This is the 17th, and it's going to play its part in the pretty hefty finish here at Yas Links. It's a long par 3, 204 yards. There's about 5 tee boxes though that they might shift around during the week. Now there's a back upper plateau. You can see the little valley as well around about midway, and that'll be a scoring opportunity, but it is a tough par 3.
Always exciting to finish on a par 5, and this is no exception. 646 yards, likely into a prevailing wind. Oftentimes it can actually play over 700 yards. Not many players, if any, will be able to reach into. Very generous fairway, bunker in the middle. You can choose to play up the left or safely off to the right. Up to the left cuts off a lot of yardage. It's an awkward layup shot if you can't reach the green in 2. You can't really see the landing area. The closer you can keep to the water, the better angle and the better view you're going to have to this third shot, to a green that has lots of different slopes. Unlikely to see an eagle finish, but we will see birdies on the final hole here at the Abu Dhabi HSBC Championship to finish off the second event on this year's DP World Tour.